Hey folks, Phil Gallagher here of Thraben University. We're continuing on with Daily D&T. I feel like this is like number 112 or something like that now. I am now on my Thanksgiving break, which is super awesome. That means I can spend the rest of the afternoon preparing to battle Jarvis Wu tonight. I don't love this hand, but I'm certainly not throwing it back. If we're playing against a Delver deck, we have a Swords to Plowshares into Stoneforge Mystic plus another Stoneforge. There's a number of things I don't like about this hand. We don't have a Vial or a Mom to start with. We don't have mana stability. We need more mana. If I lead like Stoneforge and then I get Wastelanded, it is a little bit awkward. But the plus sides are we do have a great amount of gas. We have cards for combo. We have cards for fair decks. It's fine. All right. They are targeting themselves. They're going to dump a Grizzlebrand into play. I'm going to Swords to Plowshares here. If they want to draw 14, they're doing it right now. They've already used one Lotus Petal, so it's at least somewhat unlikely that they can just remake the Grizzlebrand this turn. Never mind. They have multiple petals. I regret nothing, for the record. But if they whiffed on a Lotus Petal, then I just would have felt like super good about Swords to Plowsharing there. The thing is, if I don't Swords to Plowshares there, I'm very likely to just get, like, unmasked immediately afterwards. Grizzlebrand is not the end of the world with that thing being in play. I was about to say, we have a Revoker, which can go and temporarily shut it off. We can draw into Caracas. I think it's actually just scarier for me if my opponent puts a Chancellor into play this turn. Or they could just have something like an Eleshnorn or a Grave Titan, and that would do it fine as well. Yeah, Ashen Rider taking out my one. Oh, we had Reanimate. Yeah, I'd totally take 8 to put Ashen Rider in play and nug that Plains. Yeah, now I'll concede to that. Alright, I guess we'll reluctantly board in these Deafening Silences that I hate. We'll play Path Cleric, Rest in Peace, Surgical Fairy, and I'll probably Pithing Needle when I'm on the play, but not when I'm on the draw. We'll kind of see how I feel about it. Don't really like the Stoneforge package against Reanimator. I will probably end up dropping some or all of it. It's just so poor to spend your early turns on the Stoneforge Mystic package, and a lot of times in your mid-turns, you're just better just jamming some threat onto the board and trying to kill your opponent with it. This would still mean I need to cut 2 cards. If I was playing a 24th land, I'd cut 1 land. Given that I'm not... I'll probably cut trim Mother of Runes. And then I can consider playing Mirren Crusader over some other beater. Thalia Heretic Cathar has some hate utility in the matchup in that it shuts off fetch lands and sometimes keeps a creature from blocking, so I guess I'm going to keep it in. But I think we'll submit like this. I would like to play first. Yes. If they turn 1 me, they turn 1 me. But otherwise, this hand is very strong. We're going to be able to curve like a turn 2 Rest in Peace into a turn 3, also get a 2-drop hate card in play off of Recruiter. Alright. So my opponent is just going to reanimate an Elesh Norn on turn 1. Yeah, that's fine. Elesh Norn is actually not a very good clock. 4 damage a turn, like, while on turn 1 is fine, but that feels just totally beatable. So, for example, over the course of 2 turns, we can just Recruiter of the Guard for Palace Jailer. Or we can draw any number of removal spells. I'm just going to just double check, make sure there's no 2-drop that I would want to play this turn. There is not. They all die. So we're going to use the Recruiter to get Palace Jailer. The next question becomes, do I just want to do that this turn, or do I want to do it next turn? I guess doing it next turn is probably better. Oh, nice. Thanks for F6ing. So I'm going to draw a white source this turn. Beautiful. Yes, I will use that ability. Note that Palace Jailer dies immediately to the state-based effects of the Elesh Norn -2/-2 effect. But we should very handily win this game now. Yeah, my opponent's Thought Seizes against my Monarch, that doesn't bode well for them. Yep, and we see them just scoop up the game there. On the draw, I don't really love this Pithing Needle anymore. Seeing how aggressively my opponent is just willing to, like, YOLO slam a creature into play with no disruption first, it kind of makes me want to play another Council's Judgment over some of the other stuff that I have going on here. I might even play 2. Council's Judgment is very slow to answer a creature, but just having removal density is important if my opponent is just going to go for it and not try to, like, interact me to get Surgical or Fairy out of the way first. I need to watch my creature density, because a lot of times, I mean, I'm keeping. My opponent has mulliganed once already. Alright, my opponent has revealed a Chancellor, so they'll probably go for it on turn 1, if they have the possibility of doing so, and then having Fairy over Surgical will actually be relevant. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Do it. Do it. That feels pretty okay. So note, I am a huge fan of Surgical over Fairy. Fairy is specifically much better against Reanimator. Like, unquestionably so. But worse in most other spots. We do have a Chancellor trigger to worry about. But I really just want to snap off a Wasteland on my opponent's presumably only mana source. And just work on buying time. Beautiful. That's actually a very good draw. It makes our Rashad Force slightly awkward, but being able to resolve that Vial just immediately and not have to worry about the Chancellor attacks for the rest of the game is phenomenal. We are seeing the awkwardness of the keep at work here, but I would like to remind you all that we are still alive. We will tick this up to 3, even though it shuts off some of our good draws. But I need to get something into play. Hey, there we go. Just for the sake of comparison, I want you all to consider if this was just a Chalice of the Void instead. We would have had the option to put this on either 1 or 2 this turn, and I think we would have locked up this game rather than just having this game be extremely awkward. Alright, so they are going to Thoughtseize me. That's fine, that's their only spell of this turn, and I'm going to get to port down that Badlands in future turns. So 100% A-okay with that. I say always no to this for now. And this is probably going to be an attacking Mother of Runes. It's definitely going to be an attacking Mother of Runes. Cutting a turn off our clock is a pretty big deal here. And also, every single life point matters here because of Grizzlebrand's Draw 7 ability. So that's all they get this turn due to Deafening Silence. Something something, Chalice on 1 and Chalice on 2, something something. I don't know. I don't know. So at this stage, there is an argument to only attack with the Wisp. But I'm just going to push damage. I don't even think playing this does any good. They don't have mana to like Abrupt Decay or something, and I guess I could hold it back in case they have something like Serenity. Yeah, let's just leave some amount of surprise there. All right, and we take this one down. I don't really know that this is better than a Chalice, although Deafening Silence admittedly looked fine that game. It was Fairy that actually won us that match. If that had been a Surgical, I would not have won that match. So again, Fairy much better against Reanimator specifically, and I'll see you all back tomorrow.